They should just do what I've said for a few years now. Just take the titles away. Let them get on with being Meghan and Harry celebrities.
So, I mean, this is a much bigger problem than I think people have realised.
The media were unbelievably positive about them. And then, after they got married, it all went wrong. Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputation. When it comes to compassion and empathy, where's Meghan's been for her own father? She completely disowned him, as she did all her wedding, actually.
You seem to have a lack of empathy for Harry here, and you're
I do, yeah.
You're saying that
I've got zero empathy.
You're saying he's trashing the royal family.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how this all plays out, but it's a mess. And Charles may have to deal with it.
The royal family just dropped a bombshell that changes everything we thought we knew about Harry and Meghan's future. King Charles has made his final decision, and the timing couldn't be more brutal. What happened behind palace walls in September has been kept secret until now. But today, sources close to Buckingham Palace revealed the shocking truth about that meeting between Charles and Harry, and why it marked the end of any hope for reconciliation. The Times newspaper, known for its direct connections to the palace, just published devastating details that expose Harry's lies about his relationship with his father. According to palace insiders, Harry hasn't spoken to Charles since their September meeting, not once. Despite Harry's camp claiming they're in regular contact and moving in the right direction, a London source called this suggestion laughable. This revelation comes at a particularly painful moment. Charles has just announced positive news about his cancer treatment. He's reducing his treatment schedule, going into 2026. Yet instead of celebrating this improvement with his son, the king has chosen to cut Harry off completely. The September meeting was supposed to be a turning point. Harry flew to the UK specifically to see his sick father, playing on Charles's emotions during his cancer battle. But what Harry did after that meeting sealed his fate forever. He immediately accused palace staff of leaking details to sabotage their relationship. He took speaking engagements where he criticized the monarchy. He continued his victim narrative while banking appearance fees. Charles watched his son's behavior and made a decision that shocked even senior royals. No more chances, no more forgiveness. The door is officially closed. What makes this even more dramatic is Queen Camilla's recent Christmas display. Eagle-eyed observers noticed she included a photo from Harry and Meghan's wedding day, something many interpreted as an olive branch. But palace sources now confirm this was merely protocol, not reconciliation. The photo's placement was strategic, sending a clear message. Harry remains Charles's son biologically, but his role in the monarchy is finished. The timing of this announcement reveals Charles's calculated strategy. By waiting until his health improved, he's removed Harry's leverage. Throughout 2024, Harry seemed to be banking on his father's illness, creating urgency for reconciliation. He positioned himself as the concerned son, ready to rush to his father's bedside. But Charles saw through the manipulation. Sources reveal Harry's true motivations have become crystal clear to the palace. He desperately wants to spend more time in the UK. Not because he misses his family, but because insiders say he wants distance from his wife. The California life isn't working out as planned, and Harry sees reconciliation as his escape route. But Charles isn't playing Harry's game anymore. The king has taken back control of the narrative and the relationship. This marks the 7th consecutive Christmas the Sussexes will spend away from Sandringham. 7 years of self-imposed exile that Harry tried to blame on everyone but himself. The palace's decision to brief the Times directly represents an unprecedented move. Typically, royal communications maintain diplomatic ambiguity. But this time, they wanted no confusion. Harry is not welcome, there is no reconciliation happening, and his claims of regular contact are false. Meanwhile, Meghan's attempts at rehabilitation have also crumbled. She recently sent a letter to her estranged father, Thomas Markle, who's recovering in a Philippines hospital. But sources close to Thomas say the letter was purely performative. Meghan knew it would leak and make her look compassionate. The same week, she was caught in massive hypocrisy over her children's privacy stance.
The videos embolden conspiracy theorists. They're calling it Megspiracy, and the pair are being subjected to yet more merciless ridicule. Nothing says protecting your family like putting her kids in a reality TV series, does it?
But I think she's lost respect to British people.
Why put your kids all over social media? All you're banging on about all the time is wanting privacy and
Because
protection for those children. Prince Harry mauls his own brother, accuses his father, the new king, of being a liar, even has a dig at his late great-grandmother, the Queen.
This is full disgrace and pretty much unprecedented as far as we can see.
So you're turning your kids into a commercial opportunity. You want to profit from their exposure all over your Instagram.
The Sussexes just announced their involvement in a documentary called Cookie Queens, featuring Girl Scouts aged 5 to 12. On the exact same day, they criticised Australia's new law protecting children from social media. Meghan posted these young girls' faces all over her Instagram. The contradiction is staggering, campaigning for children's privacy while exploiting them for content. But here's what really exposes their desperation. Netflix rejected this project. Despite Harry and Meghan's first look deal, Netflix passed on Cookie Queens. The Sussexes are now shopping it at Sundance Film Festival, hoping someone or anyone will buy it. Industry insiders say this rejection signals Netflix's complete loss of faith in the couple's projects. The streaming giant that once paid them millions now won't even touch a simple documentary they're executive producing. Sources say Netflix executives have realized what everyone else knows. Harry and Meghan's names are box office poison. They don't enhance projects, they damage them. This professional failure compounds their personal isolation. Harry faces another crisis next month with his court case against the Daily Mail. He and other celebrities, including Elton John, could be liable for up to £38 million if they lose. Legal experts say Harry's case is falling apart. Key witnesses are recanting testimony, evidence is crumbling, and even his co-plaintiffs are getting nervous. The case revolves around alleged phone hacking from over a decade ago, but Harry's real motivation appears to be revenge against the British press. He's so consumed by his vendetta that he's risking financial ruin. If he loses, he'll have to pay not just his own legal costs, but also the Daily Mail's, potentially tens of millions. Harry's behavior pattern has become predictable. He creates a crisis, blames everyone else, demands reconciliation on his terms, then sabotages any progress by selling the story. Charles has finally recognized this toxic cycle and broken free from it. The palace's statement through the Times sends a clear message to Harry: enough is enough. No more emotional manipulation using Charles's cancer, no more false claims of reconciliation for publicity, no more using royal connections while trashing the institution. What's particularly telling is how Charles timed this announcement. By revealing it alongside positive health news, he's showing strength, not weakness. He's demonstrating that he's very much in control and making clear-headed decisions about protecting the monarchy's future. For Harry, this represents a catastrophic miscalculation. He assumed his father's illness would guarantee forgiveness. He thought he could continue his attacks while keeping the door open for his eventual return. He believed he could have it both ways: Sussex independence with royal privileges. But Charles has called his bluff. The king, who once desperately wanted a relationship with his younger son, has accepted the painful reality. Some relationships are too damaged to repair. Some betrayals cut too deep for forgiveness. Royal watchers note this is the firmest stance Charles has ever taken against Harry. Even after the Oprah interview, the Netflix series, and the Spare memoir, Charles left room for reconciliation. But the September meeting was the final test, and Harry failed spectacularly. By immediately spinning the meeting for his own narrative and continuing his attacks, Harry proved he can't be trusted with any olive branch. He'll always prioritize his victim's story over family healing. He'll always choose California publicity over genuine reconciliation. The Sussexes now face complete isolation from the institution that gave them their only marketable value. Without royal connections, they're just another celebrity couple in Hollywood, and not particularly successful ones. Their Netflix deal is hanging by a thread. Their Spotify partnership already collapsed, and their brand is toxic to most partnerships. Industry insiders say the couple's attempts to establish themselves as Hollywood power players have failed miserably. They're seen as difficult to work with, unreliable, and unable to deliver successful content. The Cookie Queen's rejection is just the latest in a string of professional failures. Even Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, seems to be distancing herself. After being prominently featured in early Sussex projects, She's been notably absent from recent appearances. When she did appear at Meghan's cooking show launch, witnesses say she looked miserable and eager to leave. The facade is crumbling on all fronts. Professional failures, family estrangement, and now complete rejection from the royal family. The Sussexes bet everything on their victim narrative generating sympathy and success. Instead, it's left them isolated and increasingly desperate. Charles's decision represents more than just a father's frustration with his son. It's a king protecting his institution from continued attacks. It's a leader recognizing that some people will always choose destruction over reconciliation. It's a painful but necessary acceptance that Harry has chosen his path, and it leads away from the family forever. The 7-year Christmas exile will now extend indefinitely. The phone calls Harry claims are happening don't exist. The reconciliation he hints at in interviews is pure fantasy. The royal return he dreams of will never materialize. For Charles, this decision brings clarity and peace. He can focus on his health, his duties, and the family members who support the monarchy. He can stop wondering when the next attack will come or whether this olive branch will finally work. For Harry, this represents the ultimate consequence of his choices. He wanted independence. Now he has complete independence from the family that defined him. He wanted to tell his truth. Now nobody in the palace is listening. He wanted to punish the institution, but he's only punished himself. The boy who once walked behind his mother's coffin with his family's support now walks alone by choice. The prince who could have had everything chose to destroy it all for fleeting fame and fortune. The son who had a father's love threw it away for podcast deals and speaking fees. As Charles continues his cancer treatment with improving prospects, he does so without the stress of Harry's manipulations. As the monarchy moves forward under his reign, it does so without the Sussex chaos. As the family gathers for Christmas at Sandringham, they do so in peace. The palace's message through the times couldn't be clearer. The Harry chapter is closed. Not with anger or vengeance, but with sad finality. A father tried everything to save his relationship with his son. A king protected his institution from continued attacks. In the end, Charles chose the crown over chaos, duty over drama, and the future over false hope. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.